All right, I know. You've seen this video a million times. Everybody knows that you can right-click the bouncy chest to automatically dismiss it, or that you can type /wiki and an item name to automatically pull up the wiki. You knew about those, right? But I tried to dig up some really obscure stuff, and I'm willing to bet that there's something in this list that you didn't already know. So if you can get to the end of this video and you didn't learn anything new, then leave me a comment below and let me know that you're the Guild Wars 2 master.
You're the insult master!
So let's get right into it. Here are 7 tips, tricks, features, whatever you want to call them, that you probably didn't know about Guild Wars 2.
When you're in a party, not a squad, the number displayed next to the player portrait changes based on context. If the player is under level 80, it shows their level. If they are level 80, the player level is replaced with how many mastery points they have. Also, if you're in the same map and a player is near a renown heart, you can see each member's progress on the heart. However, if you're in a fractal, including the observatory, it instead displays the player's agony resistance. And a side note on that, you can test your agony resistance by setting the fractal level on the console and then standing in this red ring, so you can see how quickly you'll die before jumping in. A lot of people will farm Black Lion keys by creating a new character, getting them to level 10, and completing the first chapter of the personal story. Most people do this with humans because the process is fastest on human players. But did you know you can also get a Black Lion key once per character from a few other story steps? Setting the stage in Personal Story Chapter 4, Living World Season 2, Episode 6, and Heart of Thorns Act 3 all give Black Lion keys upon completion. If you have any alts who are level 80 but haven't done the story, you can jump to those chapters through the story panel and pick up a few extra keys. And like the level 10 story, you can only do them once per character, but unlike the level 10 story, they aren't limited to only giving a key once per week, so you can hammer out a few of them quickly if you don't want to wait. You can fully access your bank from any crafting station, even if you don't have that crafting discipline unlocked. This is especially helpful in places like Lion's Arch, where the crafting stations are a lot closer to the trading post than the bank is. And on the topic of crafting, you actually can learn more than 2 crafting disciplines per character, but you can only have 2 activated at a time. It's free to pick up a new crafting discipline, but switching back to one costs 10 copper per level of that discipline, meaning it costs 50 silver to switch back to a crafting discipline that's level 500. Just talk to the NPC of whatever discipline you want to activate either way. And 50 silver still isn't bad, but you can just level up alts for free. There are a lot of options to control keybinds for targeting enemies. The most commonly used is tab, of course, and the game bases its first selection off a simple priority system. But you can keep hitting it to select the next appropriate target, or hit shift plus tab to select previous targets. I use this function a lot when fighting bosses that have clones, like High Priestess Amala in the Twilight Oasis Fractal. You can just keep cycling through them until you get to the one with the big spiky nameplate, and that's the real one. Of course, most bosses that do this also have some other tell to indicate which is the real one, and catching that is much faster, but if you miss the cue, this is a great backup. Oh, and speaking of targeting, you can target emotes too. Just have someone or something selected and add an @ symbol after your emote, and the callout will be slightly modified to include the target. If you're in open world and trying to just get experience, just killing monsters isn't the most efficient way to do this. But if you at least want to maximize this process, kill some monsters with yellow names. When a monster has been on the map longer, killing it will give you bonus XP. Yellow monsters are more likely to be hanging around longer, so they're almost guaranteed to give you bonus XP. But on the flip side, if you just try to camp out and kill monsters or complete a simple event over and over again, Guild Wars 2 does have a diminishing return system. This basically means that the more you repeat a task in one sitting, the worse the rewards will become. This is to discourage AFK farmers, which has questionable efficacy. If you're on a fresh setup and you just installed the game, it goes without saying that you can get in-game as soon as the progress bar hits playable. But you may have noticed that when you do this, you effectively stop the patching process. So if you really want to download the entire game, you kind of just have to leave your computer on and let it patch when you're not playing. There is actually an option that fixes this. Set content streaming to max or even idle. These will allow it to continue downloading the game data in the background while you play. Alternatively, if you have an install from another computer, just grab the gw2.dat file located in your Guild Wars 2 folder, which by default is located at C Program Files Guild Wars 2. It's about 64 gigs, and if you just have a large enough external drive, you can just place this in the same folder on the new computer. You could probably just even transfer it over your home network, as your local network is almost definitely faster than downloading it from the internet. Last but not least, even though Drizzlewood Coast only has 2 waypoints, you can fast travel to any territory controlled by the United Legions, which are those with a blue border. Just click the icon in the center of the territory and the map will close, but offer a prompt to travel to that location for a few war supplies. A copter will drop you in via parachute, and it's high enough that you can easily get to pretty much anywhere near that territory, especially if your Griffin has the zoomies. And actually, a lot of maps feature some other form of semi-fast travel. Don't neglect those jumping pads and thermal tubes when you see them. Both also have visual indicators to tell you which direction they're going to fling you to. My favorite one is right next to the bank in Lion's Arch. Just jump on this small launch pad and it will take you directly to the trading post building.
So, did I win the bet? Did you learn anything new from this list? If so, leave me a like or a comment. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you did, please consider subscribing for more trivial anecdotes about Guild Wars 2. See you in the next one.